Hello. Yeah, I should be in bed, but I don't want to have nightmares of 2026 Thomas. And this is. I also don't want to edit a video because I'm going to completely forget that this happened tonight. And I'm going to wake up and get into the swing of everything. And yeah, so we're doing a stream, very impromptu. It's going to be interesting. It is going to be very interesting. I'm going to move my windows around everywhere. Wait for some more people to filter in. I don't know how many people are actually showing up to this, but this will go up on the channel later. I think we're going to try and make this as quick as possible. But we have gotten a new look at 2026 Thomas Tank Engine. We actually have footage, which is pretty crazy. No sound yet, but you know, I can't say that I'm confident in Mattel doing anything right this year anymore. I was kind of excited at the end of last year because we had some really good merch. We had, yeah, I mean, we had the new Trackmasters with Flying Scotsman and Duck. We had the really cool metal collection from 2025, and it all looked like it was going in the right direction. And then we got the leaks for the 2026 merchandise, and it looks like they were completely shifting the visual style again. And yeah, that those suspicions were pretty accurate. I don't know if I've ever said this publicly about the 2026 stuff. I think I've recorded like 50 videos of my thoughts on stuff, but then I just decided not to upload it because it's too negative. The 80th merch was horse crap. It was better than what we had before. It wasn't great, but it was a step in the right direction. And then seeing the 2026 merch, it seems like we've taken another 78 steps back. So it's I the new merch just annoyed me, honestly. I didn't like the new merch. I know a lot of people did like it. I didn't. And I will stand by that. We can actually I've never talked about yeah, I didn't make a video on the new merch. So I'm just going to pull up the images that I have here real quick. In the open link. There we go. Okay, let me go ahead and open all of these, go through everything. I know we've gotten more since, but I don't really have much to say about the merch, so we might as well just kind of go over it all in one shot. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, that's everything. Okay. It's not bad necessarily. I mean, this is interesting because it's got the more classic CGI Thomas face. The irises kind of bug me a bit. I'm not huge on the colors. No detail on the whistle. I don't know why Thomas is in like a darker shade of blue. It's kind of weird, especially considering the footage we're going to look at in a minute. Yeah, I don't know. I missed the side rods from the 25th. I think the 25th was just a little better. That's my opinion. I'm not huge on this. I'm not huge on Annie having gray face. Annie and Clarabelle. But I mean, I'm old compared to a lot of other people in the fandom today. So I have my preferences. Like this is not the worst thing that's ever happened though. It's slightly uncomfortable. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm a fan of it, but it's not the end of the world that Annie has a gray face now. Gordon's face looks really weird. A little creepy. I mean, it looks more like Gordon's face than AEG did, but I do like the double headlamps. That's nice. Accurate wheel arrangement too, which is pretty cool. And then tender with four wheels, even though they clearly have space for a third. So, okay. And he is quite fat too. That is another issue. Like, he is massive. This is like Plarail D51 massive. It's huge. It's huge. No whistle. No front windows either. Unpainted cylinders or pistons. I don't know. I think it's one or the other. James has a food tray under his face. That's interesting. Accurate wheel arrangement again, and then we have a four-wheel tender, even though there's room for a uh, fifth and sixth wheel. So that's kind of weird. He has better proportion though. I'll give him that. I'm not huge on the face. It looks more like Edward's face. Um, they probably could have fit cab windows here too, but they didn't. No whistle either. Better than Gordon, I will say. Not the worst. Um, I'm actually very surprised. Henry seems to be better than Gordon. Again, the face is my biggest issue, and the fact that they didn't put six wheels on the tender, even though they could have. But I mean, everything else is. I mean, his body is decent. It's not too fat. It could be worse. They did get whatever the hell this is, and his dome, and then they even put a whistle on. So Henry's surprisingly not horrible. Can't say I'm a huge fan of him. It's hard to tell with Percy. He's too far away. But they have, once again, changed the track connection system. And we're kind of going for what Thomas Wood was doing, which is, why do we need this? I don't think we needed this. This is dumb. This is really dumb. From a marketing standpoint, this is Mattel's way of saying, hey, you want the new stuff, you have to buy all the new track. Because unless you do, you can't use it. And it looks like they will be doing connectors, which is nice. But, yikes. So much for backwards compatibility. And then we have the motorized ones, and I'm not huge on the motorized ones. James is too fat. He's too long. Can we also can we get an explanation to why, of all the wheels on him, why do his tender wheels have the counterweights? The reason engine wheels have counterweights is to provide weight on the other side of the wheel where the coupling rod is connected. That's why those wedges appear on wheels. So you can kind of make out that James has it on his drive wheel, and then it does not look like he's got them on his other ones, which is weird. And somehow the tender has them. So, okay. At least Percy has a counterweight on his front wheel, and I'm assuming he has one on his rear wheel, although it's hard to tell. I don't know if these are like early renders or not, but I really hope that this is not going to be like a consistent thing. The mail van looks way too much like a barn. I know it's always had a curved roof, but I mean, this is like way too evenly curved. Eesh. And the magnet connectors. So if you bought the 2025 motorized and you enjoy them, that's totally okay. I did not buy them. I mean, I would much rather buy bullet trains and all the Japanese engines than whatever this crap is. But that's just me. I don't know. Percy's fine-ish. He's not too bad, actually. He's got some nice detail on him. Whistle is painted. Dome is painted. Cab windows look all right. Not horrible. I don't know why he's got the middle joint there. He shouldn't, because he only has four wheels. Nia has a really weird face. I don't know what's up with this face. It's also got a weird looking like mine cart for rolling stock. So okay. I don't really have much to say about Nia. I never cared for her much, so I can't give input. Thomas looks all right. He's probably the best out of the motorized ones that we've had. And I know these are old images and we've gotten more stuff, but this is all I've cared to download. I don't know why he's got a blue troublesome truck. Doesn't really do much for the color palette. No counterweights on the other four drive wheels. Counterweights on the rolling stock, which don't need to be there. Yikes. Gordon, once again, very fat. I do like that you can take the coal out of the tender. That was a nice thing they kept from the 25th merch. Yeah, I don't know. He's okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to say. Let's get into the actual juicy stuff now. Kind of just giving my thoughts once and for all in the public domain on what I think about the 2026 merch. And in a nutshell, kind of crap. I'm not huge on it. It could be worse, but It's just not my taste. I'm going to read chat for just a quick minute. Is this the new footage? Yes, we are going to look at the new footage. Very interesting. Jesse, what's up? What's going on? You want to get in call, Jesse? Henry's face giving me that season 7 look. You know what? I kind of see that. I can kind of see that. We all agree James's face. I mean, they would work on Edward, but they don't really work on James. They just look like James. They look like James faces to me, or Edward faces. I don't know why they gave James that because James has always had a round nose, and they gave him the more like pointed nose like Edward has. So that's yeah. Diesel looks the least off. I have seen the Diesel one. I did post on my Twitter. You know, I'm not even gonna. There. I was gonna say something, but I don't think I should say it. Yeah, I'm gonna be careful today. Yeah, I think the 80th merch was it was a better step in the right direction in my opinion. To be fair, I didn't care for the 80th merch. I don't care for this merch. I haven't cared for the merch in a long time, honestly. After Wooden Railway died, I pretty much stopped caring about Modern Thomas merch because Trackmaster was already on Trackmaster Revolution, and I did not like Trackmaster Revolution. And at this point in time, I'm pretty much like I have not really been as enthusiastic about Thomas merch in general. I've really been interested in like actual real play rail and you know, all of their history and their Japanese locomotives. I've found all that very fascinating. More so than what Thomas has been doing because you know, there's only so much I can do with Thomas at this point. Assuming that the new show is going to be complete garbage, which I think it's going to be. So I'm just more or less at the point where it's like, you know, I talk about this stuff because it's sort of relevant to the channel. I'm no longer MTI Thomas. I don't exclusively talk about Thomas anymore, but it is still an important part of the channel. And I do think that this is worth commenting on, especially with the footage that we are going to look at. We eating good? Maybe. I doubt it. I doubt it. I mean, if you think it's good, then more power to you, but I don't think it's good. But everyone is allowed to have their own opinion. It's going to be better than AEG. It might just be AEG with 3D animation. That's my personal prediction. I think it's just going to be all engines go diet-ish with 3D animation. That's just what it feels like to me. But for the people who are excited for what's happening in 2026, I hope you guys can stay as excited for as long as possible because I was excited about this at one point, and now that I am no longer not excited, it kind of sucks. So if you are very positive about this, then that is 100% okay. Don't let me and my opinions on this ruin your perception of what Thomas is going to be coming up. One thing that's really interesting to me is they gave us a diagram. Also, this image looks like AI. We're going to go a little deeper into this image in a minute, but yeah, this looks AI as all hell. So the Railway Series was the only thing we had for Thomas from 1945. I'm pretty much to the present at this point. I don't think it's really ever fully stopped. We haven't really gotten any like new books, but we have gotten new lore lately, so it is still alive, I would say. But from 1945 to 1984, it's about 39 years, give or take. So let's call it 40 years. 1984 to 2009. I don't know why they did 2010 because Hero of the Rails came out in 2009, but 1984 to 2008, that was the live action series, and that's more or less 25 years. Let's call it 20. CGI from 2009 to about, 2021? Let's call that about 10 years. And then All Engines Go from 2021 and now 2026 is New Thomas. So that's about 5 years. And if we take a look at the general math, we went from 40 years to 20 years to 10 years to 5 years. So based on the generalized math of this chart, 2026 Thomas is only going to last 2.5 years. So 2028, maybe 2029, just based on that. But I mean, that's not a valid metric here. I don't really think that it's going to last too long. I would be surprised if it lasts a decade. At this point in time now, I could be completely wrong. The show could be absolutely amazing despite appearances. So I'm not going to judge a book by its cover, but I am going to say that I am not confident that this book is going to be very good, essentially. But let's get into this image here, because they did drop that. I think it's in here. Yeah, this, what are we doing? What are we doing? This looks so AI generated. I don't know if it's just the amount of AI images I've seen around on the internet, but this just screams like they took the Thomas model and just kind of plopped it here, and then everything else is like AI generated. It looks, you know, the longer you look at it, the more you can kind of see it. Like some things look a little too photorealistic. Like these plants right here, those look. I just realized that no one can see what I'm looking at because I am a moron and I forgot to change the, so I've been talking into the void here this whole time. I apologize. So yeah, I basically just gave my thoughts on nothing for, how long has it been? About 15 minutes. I apologize for that. This is why I don't do live streams at 3 o'clock in the morning on a work night. Just to kind of reiterate, can I? Oh, perfect. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and cycle these up one more time. Is this? Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay. Mid. 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 Not terrible. Decent. Why did we need another revision to the track connectors? Disgusting. I have no comment. Decent. Less than mid. Okay, there we go. We got the spark nodes. And then this is the character chart that I was commenting on. So 1945 Railway Series, about 40 years. And then we had the live action series, 25 years. And then we have CGI, about a little more than 10 years. And then we have 2D animation, and then 5 years. And we've got, I'm going to call this AI Thomas. So we went from paintings to live action to CGI to 2D animation, and now we're looking into AI Thomas. That's what I'm calling it. That's what I'm dubbing it as. This new era of Thomas is AI Thomas. You heard it here first, folks. But so let's go ahead and get back to where we were at. Yeah, this image just looks like AI. Like, it looks like they took Thomas's model, kind of brushed him a little bit, plopped him here, and then just said, all right, AI, generate a Sodor-looking-ish background. So we have this long bridge that just seems to span across the countryside for no reason. Looks like we got some kind of spire in the back here, which I would assume would be a church based on Sodor's geography. The closer you get to the camera, the more photorealistic it looks, and then the farther we get, the more like a painting it looks. This does not bode well. This does not bode well. Also, why do we need to change the logo again? Why do we need to do this? Actually, I think this is, what is this? Let me take a look at the All Engines Go logo. I don't even think they changed. Yeah, no, they literally just slapped the normal Thomas and Friends cloud on, and this time, new font, curvier cloud. I mean, it's not horrible. I just wonder why we needed this. I don't think we really needed a logo change. This just seems like they did it just to do this. So I don't know if this is going to be a completely new. Well, yeah, I think this is probably just going to be a completely new era of Thomas. I have no idea what to expect from the show. I doubt they're going to pick up where they left off with the CGI era. So that I think this might be a solid indicator that yes, Thomas is going to no longer be a we're looking into a completely new era of Thomas. We have had the Railway series, the Model series, the CGI series, all engines go, and now we're about to have AI Thomas as well. So we've got 5 whole separate series of Thomas, which it feels like we're getting excessive at this point. You can only reboot it so many times. Most of this is ugly as hell. I don't know what they were thinking with these faces on these blue sheets here. These look horrendous. I kind of like this number 12 one down here. I don't know if this is my... Oh, yeah, my mouse is showing on it. Yeah, this one looks very anime, that one. So, actually, yeah, this sheet here, it makes Thomas look very anime. You know, honestly, if Mattel decided that they didn't want Thomas anymore and they gave it to Takara Tomy, and Takara Tomy made a Thomas anime, that would actually be kind of interesting. Like, I would rather have Thomas anime than this. We can also see down here they took the Season 8 promo pictures of Thomas and they just slapped new faces on him. Yeah, it looks like they went through this face here. This looks like Harvey. That looks like Harvey. He still has triangle eyebrow. No, he does not. He does not have triangle eyebrows. Yeah, I don't know. But now it's time to watch the video. That has no sound, by the way. There's no sound in this video. Okay, this is the square version. Here we go. I think this is, yeah. Get ready for it. Oh no, the bouncing is back. Uh-oh. Active suspension alert. So we basically had 6 seconds. It's, in all fairness, it's a lot harder to tell where AI was used here. This does seem more like it has been crafted personally in an animation software, but it's hard to tell. I mean, the background could be AI generated. It's hard to tell if AI may have generated some of these assets that we see around. You know, you really just don't know. Especially with a big company like Mattel, who would be way more likely to lean into artificial intelligence in crafting a 3D animated show. This image right here hurts. I do not like Thomas looking at me like that. We can also see that darker side rods. Yeah, there we go. You can see that we've now got these sort of gray holders where it just used to be blue, so that's kind of new. I want to see if I can get the... No. Let me scrub. Where's the frame where you can see the... Oh, damn it. I wish they had uploaded this to YouTube. Here we go. You can see his side rod is clipping into the center of his wheel there. So that's a little sloppy. You would expect a billion-dollar company to do better than that, right? But this is just 6 seconds of the new Thomas, so... His number 1 is huge. It also does not look like he has a driver and fireman, so I am willing to bet that we are not going to be seeing engine crews or railway staff be a major thing in this universe. Have we gotten any confirmation that Bruno's going to be in the new show? I've heard a lot of people saying that he will be. I never saw AEG, so, I mean, it seems like out of everybody that has seen AEG, Bruno is like one of the least hated things widely. So, I mean, it's very possible with that kind of reception that he would show up in this, which would be interesting. I might cry due to AI infecting Thomas the Tank Engine. I mean, it was bound to happen. He was on the major list that got leaked. Oh, okay. I didn't read through that whole list, so I'm still relatively in the dark. I've just it's like if somebody sends something that does not require an excessive amount of reading, I'll look into it. And I actually made a post on Twitter about it was interesting because what was it like a couple days ago? There was a whole big thing where we saw the new merchandise packaging for the push-alongs, and everybody was up in arms, and I could not find concrete evidence that Mattel had any involvement in this until I had to dig around on Twitter. I had to do reverse image searching, and I found some links, and I posted on my Twitter page. You can see it with the actual product links. Actually, why don't we talk about that now? We've kind of this is really all we have for Thomas 2026. This is it. Which I got from this article. If you click here, you can get the link to the Dropbox. I'm going to go ahead and throw that in the description of the stream real quick. If I can. They updated the UI for this. Here we go. Okay, yeah, I'm going to throw this in the description right now. Okay. So that is... Or wait, actually, why don't I just copy... Can I copy this link directly? Yes, I can. Okay. Here we go. All right, I'm going to copy the Dropbox link for anybody who wants to go and take a look at the... whatever you call it, the assets that we've gotten in the little clip that we got for that. Let's take a quick trip over to Twitter, which I never look at because Twitter's kind of a cesspool. So this was sort of my thoughts on the whatever you call it, on the merch packaging. Here we can see Thomas looks very much AI. Apparently the new show will be on YouTube Kids. I don't know when it's coming out, but the packaging is okay. It's not horrible. Obviously Thomas, oh my goodness, look at that. His number 1 is actually smaller than it is in the video clip. Hold on. Where's that image? Here we go. Yeah, look at that. His number, oh, come on, where's the bigger one? Here we go. Number 1 is absolutely massive. Interesting discrepancy. But his number 1 is huge on his model, which is kind of interesting. So I don't know if this is the finalized packaging. I'm going to assume it is. I also like the little magnet symbol that they felt like, yes, kids at this point know what magnets are, or at least they should. You know what? That's actually a good point. With some of the news I've seen about education in the United States, I would not be surprised if there are kids who do not know how magnets work or what they are. But I'm assuming the majority of the people in here are aware of what magnets are, since there's a lot of Thomas merch that uses it. But did they put names here? Okay, Percy, Thomas. Yeah, this doesn't really say, so I'm guessing this is the wrong list. But anyways, Ice Cat apparently had a bunch of stuff. Also, here was the
Beach, that's it. That's it.
What the hell was that? I don't know. I'm gonna assume that came from YouTube. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I'm just losing my mind. I don't know if anyone else heard the little Mr. Conductor clip there. Oh, that could have been. That was probably from my streaming software. I think somebody subscribed, and it set off the. No, we are not going to look at Photoshop. Go away. Go away, Photoshop. Not right now. Anyways, so yeah, we've got a product code, brand name, a lot of information about this. There was one person who I'm not going to name that was on Twitter and YouTube just going completely mad about the merch reveals, screaming it's fake, it's fake, it's AI, it's fake, it's not real, it's not real. No sources to back that claim up, by the way. And then, I mean, you take a look at these links that I've posted on my Twitter page here. This is way more work than I'm sure any troll would be willing to go through. Like, you've got barcodes, QR code, you've got a whole disclaimer down here. Publishing date of the 20th of January 2026. Interesting. Because this came out, what, 2-3 days ago? all this information here, all this information here, including measurements, weight, specifying blister packing. No batteries included. Styles may vary. You take a look at this link. I mean, this website has it. So, and then you've obviously got the long list of products listed here. Bunch of different codes, all of that stuff. Oh, it looks like they're updating it. We got more images. Oh wait, is this just AEG? Oh, it is. Okay, never mind. Okay. Oh, different coding system. Okay, so JLB is the code we're looking at. Okay, so we have Thomas, Percy, Toby, Diesel, Harold. Okay, this is really interesting. I don't know why they picked a yellow troublesome truck, but it really reminds me of the Playrail The Adventure Begins pack with green Thomas, black James, and a yellow troublesome truck. So it's probably just a coincidence, but I found that interesting. And then Rosie. But I mean, yeah, for this to be fake, for this to have, if this was just like a Photoshop edit with a little bit of AI used, and this got posted around with no sources, okay, yeah, it's fake. But I mean, you've got this, you've got this, you've got this. Yeah, there's no way that these are fake. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, basically, I just wanted to sit down for a bit and chat about my thoughts on 2026 Thomas. To sum it up, I mean, it's going to be the same thing. I made a whole video about All Engines Go, why I don't talk about it and why I don't really give my opinions on it, because it is not the Thomas that, I want to see. I'm way too heavily biased towards Classic Thomas to be able to give All Engines Go a fair chance, and that's why I've never watched it. It's why I won't watch it. It's why you'll never see a review about it on this channel. Unless I lose a bet or I get, wasted and decide to do it for whatever reason. But apart from those two scenarios, I'm not doing it. And I think with 2026 Thomas, I really don't know. Right now, I don't care. I don't want to watch the new show whenever it comes out. I'm not willing to give this a chance. Partly on principle, because it seems like AI is playing a big role in the production of this new Thomas, which absolutely not. I do not support that whatsoever. I will tell you, I've used AI I've used AI for a creative part of one video, one time. People pointed out they didn't like it. I've never done it since. And the only reason I did it was because I did not know that carriage washes exist. It's, I think it was in the TWR engine wash video. There's like an AI image that I had generated and threw in there. I'm not proud of that, by the way. But I might just redo that video at some point. Oh, but that was a collab video. I'll figure it out. Anyways, the only time that I really use AI is when I'm optimizing video titles or descriptions for posts. That's it. As far as writing my scripts, editing my videos, filming, all of that, I do not use AI. I think frankly, it insults me. On a very minor level, that it seems like Mattel is using AI for this franchise that I have loved for so long. It's like, whether or not they're trying to save costs or cut back on jobs, it's just kind of a Oh my gosh, wait, look at the rail joints. Look at this one down here. Okay, right? There's one of these little ridges coming off of it, and then you look at this one. One of these ridges, this ridge is kind of lifted up. This one is in place. This is sloppy. Yeah, no, this track, the track at least had to have been AI generated. I mean, I think it proves my point. I don't think the bigwigs who sign off on these decisions really understand it, but the people in this fandom are a lot smarter, and they're very analytical about Thomas. This stuff, they're not getting away with this. I think AI Thomas that we're seeing this year, I don't think this is lasting longer than All Engines Go, frankly. I've got a feeling that it's going to probably die out by 2030, maybe 2032 at the latest. Probably sooner than that, though. I don't know what they're expecting. Granted, we still need to see an episode of the show. We need to see what it's going to look like, what the general vibe is going to be like for the show. I think at the very least, I'm going to try and watch at least one episode of this, just to see what it's like. Mostly just to see if, if our suspicions are right and that AI is playing a big role in the development of this show. I want to see how bad it gets. But yeah, as far as this live stream goes, yeah, I just wanted to kind of sit down for a little bit and chat about the future of the show, what I think is going to happen, and just kind of my general thoughts on 2026 Thomas as of right now. I'll probably do another one of these when we get an episode out. And yeah, I'm not confident. I think it's gonna blow up in Mattel's face. I hope it blows up in Mattel's face. I hope Mattel gets a ton of crap for this, and I hope they end up having to sell Thomas off. Because let me tell you guys, if Hasbro picks up Thomas, that'll be huge. Because for those of you who don't know, Hasbro works with Takara Tomy, and Takara Tomy makes Playrail. So, if Hasbro were to acquire Thomas the Tank Engine, I'm not saying that it would fix all the show's problems, but we would very likely get Playrail back. At least the Thomas stuff. But that's wishful thinking at this point. We still have a long way to go with the future of Thomas. Whether that means watching it crash and burn or watching it just kind of hobble along for the next however long Mattel actually owns it. But at this point, I think I've pretty much just kind of lost all respect for Mattel. I used to kind of defend them because they make Hot Wheels, and Hot Wheels is kind of cool. But at this point, I don't really care about Hot Wheels anymore. I've pretty much moved my interest in die-cast miniature cars to Tomica, which is also produced by Takara Tomy. So, yeah. Goodness. We're cooked. That's an ideal universe. Can we go to that universe? I wish we could. In the clip, they're playing a theme from season 2. Gives me Peter Rabbit vibes. That might have been edited in, because I don't know. Actually, I almost just tossed my mouse off of the little duster I have. Okay, so, and I've got the audio up, by the way. So no sound there. We watched this one already. Let's try this one. No sound on this one. Watch the vertical version, and no sound on this one. So I think whatever version you saw with the season 2 music it was edited in, which probably would honestly, if they just recycled the Mike and Junior music, that would probably make the show half decent. If I'm being real. I mean, it's hard to complain with Mike and Junior. Their music is great. I mean, the animation itself is, like, Thomas actually moving is not horrible. I mean, apart from him, shifting around on his chassis, I'm not huge on that. But as far as him moving along, it's not too bad. I think what we're really going to be seeing as far as AI used in the show is going to be like what I pointed out on the tracks here. You can see the track joints are like kind of skewed in a weird way. You can see some inconsistencies with it. So it's probably going to be more of the background assets and more of these, the environment. I think that's really where we're going to see the AI creep in. So it's probably not going to be the worst thing in the world. At least it's not fully AI generated, at least to our knowledge, but it does seem that some of the, smaller assets are going to be AI generated, which from a business standpoint saves a lot of money, but from a creative standpoint is sloppy, lazy, and yeah. I mean, yeah, there are definitely clips that you can find on the internet that have Thomas doing. Okay, can we talk about? All right, I know I'm getting sidetracked again, but that's kind of what happens when I'm yapping on live stream. Can we talk about the? Yeah, why not? Thomas AI. Can we talk about these stupid video? Oh God. Oh my God. That no, absolutely not. Yeah, can we talk about these Thomas, but it's ruined by AI videos? Can we like stop? Like the fact that this is getting views is really it annoys me the fact that that crap gets 200,000 views. And then you take a look at the labor of love that was my viewer challenges video. No AI used outside of ideas for the thumbnails, which I then personally handcrafted in Photoshop. I think, and then I think the video title. Like, that's it. That's all I used AI for, was just give me an outline to use for building a thumbnail and give me a title that's going to tickle the algorithm. 52,000 views. I mean, for my channel, that's pretty great. That's not bad. It's my third most viewed video right now. It made me a lot of money. I'm very proud of this video. And it seems a lot of people like that. And then this nonsense, this AI garbage gets 200,000 views. That annoys me. That annoys me. Gets on my nerves. I mean, this guy wrote a prompt into a video maker and then it just pooped crap out for him. 2.5 minutes of that. Disgraceful. But yeah, the fact that this is what Thomas is turning into now really upsets me. Which is why you should subscribe to my channel, because I do not use AI. I write, edit, film, all of that. I do all of that myself without the usage of AI, because I believe in the creative process. And I believe in the, I also believe I need to scrub my watch history. Oh. Okay, let me just turn off. No. What? Oh, it's not saving my YouTube history, that's why. Oh yeah, I turned that off after they did the whole, update to YouTube. Okay, yeah, so that's not going to affect my search history or anything like that. But yeah. Where can I find the new clips? I've linked it in the description of the stream. There's a Dropbox link that has like all of the assets and everything that Mattel made public. No doubt this AI slop is view-botted too. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, why would you view-bot? It's way more gratifying knowing that every single person that has watched your video, or at least the majority of the views that are on your video, are from real people, and you see it in the comments too. Like I enjoy reading the comments sometimes. Sometimes I get comments from kids asking me, "Oh, can I have your entire collection for free?" And it's like, no, what am I gonna make my videos with then? You know, I get stupid comments like that, of course, but you know, like I get a lot of you know, very supportive comments, which you know, that makes me happy. It makes me feel like I did a good job, and that is all thanks to you guys watching. Test animations look like they're made by humans. The promo images aren't. Yeah, the promo image is absolutely not human made. This is 100% AI. And then the track, definitely AI generated. Thomas was definitely animated by humans, it seems like. It's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. You're my favorite Thomas YouTuber. Thank you. That means a lot. It's funny too, you know, because I've been like kind of like moving away from like Thomas topics lately, mostly because new Thomas is this and it's garbage and I don't want to talk about it. And then there's not a whole lot to talk about with old Thomas anymore, because I feel like everyone's seen the class, you know, like everyone has seen a, you know, decent amount of the classic series, if not all of it. Everybody's seen CGI, everybody knows about All Engines Go, and all of that, and a lot of people have read the books and all and everything. So I come in and it's like, okay, so where do I actually make content about Thomas? So, I mean, I mostly focus on PlayRail and, Thomas and PlayRail. Although this year, one thing that I really want to push is emphasizing the importance of of Japanese PlayRail, like the non-Thomas stuff, the bullet trains, the Tomica car stuff. Because one thing that's important to remember is that if there is no Japanese PlayRail, there is no PlayRail Thomas, right? Because PlayRail Thomas is essentially a sub-range of PlayRail. And it is, while it may not, to some people, while it may not seem that interesting, or, they may not, think, why should I care about the bullet trains or the Japanese stuff? If we don't support PlayRail in all aspects of their brand, how do we expect them to be able to make the amazing Thomas toys that they've been making for the past 34 years almost? So the video that I've been working on right now, I'm not going to reveal anything about it, but it is not going to have any Thomas in it. It's purely PlayRail, and I'm very excited for the video because it's actually really interesting. I've never seen anyone do what I'm gonna do with it, so it'll be great. And we're talking about like 20 layouts too, so it's gonna be huge, probably an hour plus again. But that is one thing that I want to push on the channel this year is the importance of PlayRail isn't just about Thomas. It's more than that. And to be fair, the stuff that PlayRail does do, like their bullet trains and whatnot, I think they're fantastic. I think a lot of the stuff that they make for Japan is better than the stuff that we've gotten out of Thomas. And that is a video topic that I need to make into a video. But it's quite interesting. The history is really in depth too, by the way. The C57 is a very nice engine. I need to get one of those. It's on the list. There's so many of the like Japanese engines on my list. Did you see the video? Yes, we did, Jesse. We watched it. It's it's not good. It's not good. Ugh, the bouncing is back. I mean, it could be worse. But we did notice that if you look at like the track joints here, it looks off. It looks like the track it has been generated by AI as an asset. It's I'm not huge on it. I can't say I like this. Favorite Thomas season? Honestly, don't know. It used to be season 5, but lately I've been leaning more towards season 1 or season 3. It might be season 1, honestly. There's just something about watching season 1 in one sitting that's just so satisfying. And it just, there's some, I think season 1, because it's so, from a visual standpoint, it's so close to the Railway series, it hits me personally different. Like, I love season 5 for its action and its music. I love season 4 for its sets and its visual design. I love season 3 for its experimentation. I love season 2 for its pacing and its it's very high speed at some points, but it's also very sweet at other points. And then you got Better Late Than Never, but that's another story. But season 1, it's like you watch it like, okay, yeah, you've got like some of the slower stories, but it's very sweet. And I mean, my dad also used to read the Railway series to me when I was a kid. So season 1 to me brings those memories back more than any other season. It really comes down to personal experience. What's your opinion on the PlayRail? I'm assuming you mean the real class PlayRail trains. They're pretty solid. I haven't gotten any of them yet, but I have been thinking about it because they do have the 100 series Shinkansen, which I really want, and I don't think they've made a new one for the normal PlayRail range in a while. And I really like the look of the 100 series, and I really want to get one. Episodes like Better Late Than Never are there to bring the series back down to the ground. I mean, Better Late Than Never, It's tough with that one because that one was written by Chris specifically to be adapted into season two. So it definitely wasn't his best work. It's not a horrible story by any means, but I do think that there's like a certain level with season two. You'll notice they're like, what is it? I think in Thomas Percy and the Cole, you can see the station master's house in the background still has the big hole in it. Um, and I also think in Thomas Comes to Breakfast, you can see the signal box where Donald smashed into it still has the hole in it. So there's a lot of that throughout the season. Little points where you can sort of be like, so okay, this potentially could have taken place before or after this event or during this event. I feel like you could have easily placed Better Late Than Never as like a supplemental story to the missing coach. I've done like a handful of rewrites of like certain Railway Series books. I recently rewrote James and the Diesel Engines, and I did a rewrite of the Twin Engines a while ago. But I incorporated Better Late Than Never into the story of into pretty much into Hello Twins and the missing coach. Better Late Than Never basically takes place concurrently with that. Just because like with that story you can really take those elements out of it. Everyone is stressed. Thomas is late for Birdie because the viaduct's being repaired, and there's all sorts of other nonsense going on, and the big engines are worn out. So Sir Topham's like, all right, screw it, I'm bringing in another engine. So he gets Donald and Douglas, and they learn about the yard and everything. And then, of course, the missing coach incident. Thomas is late for Birdie again, so the way that I wrote it is that he goes from the station after finding his coach in the siding after Douglas shunted away, and then that leads into the scene where Birdie is stuck at the crossing. I think it just kind of integrates better than Better Late Than Never being a standalone story. But that's just personally what I did with it. I think that just kind of makes the story work a little together. I think John Hassler's the best voice for Thomas. He's okay. I don't mind either of the CGI voices for Thomas. I haven't really watched CGI Thomas recently. I think the last time I watched it was in one of my Discord live stream events, where we watched. I think we were watching Christmas episodes, and we watched a handful of CGI episodes. And we also found out we found one of the funniest things in whatever the one with the giant star from like season 13 was. That one was really funny. I wish we had done that as a YouTube stream. That would have been funny. That is quite an optimistic opinion. The animation doesn't look bad at all. Looks promising. I think Thomas might actually have a chance to be a good franchise again. That is that is probably the most positive opinion I've seen about it so far, which is quite interesting. Quite interesting. I appreciate your optimism. I guess time will tell whether or not the franchise will do good again. That's up for everyone else to decide. What is your favorite Shinkansen? That's a tough one. That is a really tough question because there's so many I like. I really like the E3. I guess I'll pull up pictures while we're talking about it. Series E3 Shinkansen. I really like the E3, specifically the Tsubasa livery. Oh my god, why is the picture so damn tiny? Why are all these pictures so damn small? Okay, no, we need some actual decently sized pictures here. Here we go. Yeah, like this. Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. Actually, let me pull up the Play-Rail version. The Play-Rail version looks so nice. Oh, look at that. Ah, it's a very, very good looking locomotive in my opinion. But I also really like the Zero series. I think the Zero series is fantastic. I mean, it was the first bullet train. That's where all the history starts with it. I mean, these are just some fantastic looking engines. And the 100 series also get a good mention because they're like the Zero series, but more aggressive looking in the front. These are all of them are really nice trains, in my opinion. I mean, I really like all of I really like all of the bullet trains that have come out of Japan. Like all the ones I've seen, I think they all have their own. They have their own like spirit and personality. Like you could easily make an anime that's very much like Thomas, but it's the Shinkansens or their drivers, and like they each have a personality that corresponds to the design of the locomotive. As far as I know, the only like train anime is Rail Wars, which I have yet to watch. I was gonna watch it, but then the site that I was gonna watch it on did not have the dub properly, and I usually like to watch dub before I watch sub, just so it's easier. You know, like I get the basic idea of the story, and then I can watch it in sub, and I that's just how I am. But I ended up starting Cowboy Bebop instead. So I'm gonna have to watch Rail Wars at some point. We get a Bullet Train ranking video. I could do that. I could do that. I'll write that down real quick so I don't forget it, because I probably will forget in a couple of minutes as I continue yapping. I gotta clean up my Google Docs. I've got so many of them. All right, there we go. Got that. Perfect. It's 3 for me. Yeah, it's almost 4 in the morning for me. I have to be up at 8 o'clock in about 4 hours so I can go to work. But somebody posted this, and then I recorded, like, I have a half-assed video that I was gonna like edit and then upload tonight, and then I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna do a live stream because that's always a lot more fun. So, not the greatest idea I've ever had. Live streaming at 3 in the morning. It's yeah, I would not recommend it. Fair enough. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. I have not watched Evangelion yet. That's on my list, though. I don't know when I'm going to get to it. I'll get to it at someday, but I'm not sure when. I'm still working on Dragon Ball. Still got quite a bit. But I'm currently working on Dragon Ball right now. Bullet Train movie review. Maybe. We'll see. I'm open to that. I mean, it is a hilarious movie. It's one of my favorites, honestly. I know there's a lot of people who have seen the movie and they've read the book and they're like, oh, the movie's garbage. They changed nationalities. It's like, okay, I did not read the book. I came to this movie for the Thomas references and for the Bullet Train. That's what I came to this movie for. And the way that they told the story and sort of split up the events and whatnot and had a lot of the flashing back and the more like sort of Deadpool-ish interactive, like especially when Lemon and Tangerine were doing the one job where they forgot how many people they murked. Them like actively counting it out in the flashback was really cool. It's a very entertaining movie, and I mean it's got trains in it. The whole thing takes place on a train. That's just awesome. And the wreck at the end is like, I was like, if this train does not crash at the end, this movie sucks. And then it just has a spectacular crash at the end. And I'm like, this is a great movie. But Lemon, did you finish the movie, Jessamine? Please tell me you finished the movie. Goodbye, Kamari. Imagine Thomas, You're the Leader is the new... If they make Thomas, You're the Leader as the intro for this crap, it might ruin the song for me. That song is great. That's one of my favorite Thomas songs. I don't know why they would attach it to this garbage. Fair enough, yeah. Lemon was a great character. I mean, everybody in that movie was great. Although, I wish that they had Ryan... I wish Ryan Reynolds had played Brad Pitt's character. I don't hate Brad Pitt in the movie. I think he does... I think he works for it. But Ryan Reynolds would have just been peak for that. And it's funny, too, because he was in the movie. He was the guy who was supposed to go on the bullet train mission that Brad Pitt's character ended up doing, which is the funniest part. Where did you get those things of the of 2026 series? It is in the description of the stream. There's a Dropbox link, and that has all of this stuff in it. It was publicly available on a press release Mattel did on their website. So if you want the images and the video and everything, it's in the description. Check the Dropbox link. I'm fearing the characters may be voiced by kids. That's a very real possibility. It would not surprise me. And it's so funny too because like the majority of these characters are either pushing 100 years old or are well over 100 years old, which is it's just like you can't you just can't. You can't give them kid voices anymore. It just doesn't work. Did they say anything else? I'll pull up the press release if I can find the link. I think somebody had like just posted in my story. Yeah, here it is. Oh. Yeah, I might as well just read it out. Thomas and Friends, the beloved children's franchise from Mattel, reveals a bold new look for Thomas the Tank Engine, kicking off a full franchise relaunch rolling out this fall. Marking the first step in a broader brand evolution, the update honors more than 80 years of storytelling and authentic train culture while paying homage to its heritage and introduces a modern aesthetic designed to inspire today's children and fans of all ages. Since his debut in 1945, Thomas the Tank Engine has evolved alongside generations, from classic book illustrations to live-action television, CGI, and most recently, a 2D animation style. For this new creative direction, Mattel undertook a thoughtful design process grounded in what audiences have loved most about Thomas over time. Informed by research and creative exploration, the refreshed design stays true to Thomas's core and, in testing with preschoolers and their parents, ranked highest in appeal, personality, and emotional connection. Key new design elements included train culture with a warm, modern look, reinforcing the emotional connection families have had with Thomas for... Okay. Hopefully the stream didn't cut out too much. Blends classic train culture with a warm, modern look, reinforcing the emotional connections families have had with Thomas for decades. Relatable storytelling draws inspiration from the franchise's storytelling roots and timeless train traditions. Modernization offers refined contemporary details that maintain a familiar and recognizable features. Heart emphasizes warmth, authenticity, and dependability for today's families. Thomas has been a trusted companion for families for more than 80 years, and the new look reflects both where the brand comes from and where it's headed on its next adventure, said Ted Wu, Senior Vice President and Global Head of Vehicles and Building Sets at Mattel. Ted Wu. All right, we're going to look this guy up in a minute. We return to the elements that parents and kids love most while updating the design to feel relevant for today's preschool audience. Okay, so yeah, screw the older fans. Apparently, we're not the important audience anymore. I mean, I get it. Thomas has always been for kids, but at the same time, you're not talking down to those kids. That's why the Railway series was so popular. That's why the first 5 to 7 seasons of Thomas were so popular, because they weren't stupid. And it seems like Mattel does not understand that just because it is for preschoolers does not mean that it has to exclusively appeal to preschoolers. And I mean, that's why Thomas has such a big fandom, because it wasn't that for so long. But in recent years, these big companies would have you believe otherwise. But let's keep reading. Authentic train details, timelessness, and emotional storytelling from the foundation for the years ahead for Thomas and Friends. This is just the beginning of Thomas's next chapter, featuring a refreshed Thomas and Friends logo, new brand design elements, and updated character designs rooted in their iconic heritage. The franchise will roll out additional announcements throughout 2026 with live experiences, product, publishing, and content. For more information on Mattel and its brands, visit Mattel.com. So let's look up Ted Wu. So he is apparently one of the people who is in charge. Okay, let's see. Ted Wu, Mattel. Let's see if we can find his LinkedIn. Here we go. This has to be him. Oh, piss off. Well, that sucks. All right, you know what? Let me see if I can log into my LinkedIn real quick. Oh, can I just view his profile? Oh, apparently I can't read Ted Wu's profile. I was going to give a whole opinion on him, but apparently my login for LinkedIn is not working right now, so... Oh, I was very curious to see what other jobs he's worked at. There's a lot that you can tell about somebody from their LinkedIn page. And I bet we probably would have gotten a good gauge on Mr. Ted Wu had we been able to look at it. But thank you, LinkedIn, for requiring me to log into your stupid website to view that information. That's what I think about you, LinkedIn. Anyways. So, yeah, that's the article pretty much. But yikes. You know, they mentioned something about older fans or fans of all ages. I do not see how the bouncing is for fans of all ages, considering that a lot of older fans do not like the bouncing and they do not like that break from realism. A lot of what made Thomas so special was how grounded it was. I mean, you watch the first 5 seasons, you see, you know, apart from the human figures and some of the incorrect scaling with some of the effects that they use, it feels like a real place. And I mean, you know, that's kind of what I want out of Thomas again. That's why it was so magical to me as a kid and still to a degree as an adult. You know, this just looks like a show that has slightly more attention put into its design aspects. Story-wise, we have yet to see what they're going to do. I can only hope that we're going to get stories that are intelligent, but it's, you know, it's tough to say right now. And it doesn't really seem like that's where Mattel wants to go with it. So, as far as 2026 goes, I hope that the worst thing you can say about it is the design, but everything else is great. That's what I hope it turns out to be. That's not what I'm expecting it to be, but it's always good to be hopeful. I love the crash, especially when it was Gordon, because he'd be pompous and then end up getting into bother and being humbled. Yeah, I mean, the crashes were a big part of Thomas. I mean, you know, it's just not the same when it's CGI. Not to say that CGI did a bad job at crashes. Not until they got to Bubba. Like, once they got to... Actually, really, JBS was sort of where it started. Where, you know, Thomas isn't a ginormous, several 100,000-ton steam locomotive. He's just like this bouncy ball that just gets thrown around everywhere. And that's sort of how they treated the later era of CGI. And definitely that's how it was for All Engines Go. But I mean, for so long, they did such a great job with the weight and the feeling that, yes, these are real locomotives. When they get into crashes, it is massive. And they kind of stripped that away over time, which sucks. JBS was basically Thomas in prison. I hate to say it, Thomas never got out of prison. He has been in prison ever since that movie, in my opinion. Oh, yeah. Yeah, James's crash in The Adventure Begins was great. Wait, I can't copy and paste something. I see. There's a bug on Thomas's first wheel in that pic. Yep. Classic animation glitch where you can see the outer part of his axle clipping into his side rod there. I mean, you know, Thomas is not what it used to be. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm perfectly happy with getting super interested into Playrail's actual history and Japanese locomotive culture, just Japanese culture in general. Honestly, I think since I graduated high school, however many years ago that was now, I got really into cars. I got really into Japanese cars because I watched Initial D, and that was like the first thing that like really got me into cars. And then I got back into Tomy Thomas and collecting that, and then I got into the the Japanese Playrail stuff, and now I'm like super into the bullet trains and the all that stuff from Japan. And I'm with Forza Horizon 6. I'm not sure how many people keep up with video game news, but we are getting Forza Horizon 6 this year. Super hype racing game, and I will be doing live streams of this on the second channel when this comes out in May. Got to pre-order it, but I got some time. It's taking place in Japan, which is what I have wanted since I started playing back in Forza Horizon 4, but I've just been really interested with Japan, and it's like with this new Thomas not giving me any reason to care about it right now. This is probably this live stream right here. This is probably the majority of what I'm going to discuss with the new Thomas. Probably. Unless I bother to watch an episode or two and then do a video based on that. But as of right now, this is it for me talking about 2026 Thomas. And I don't know, it just doesn't interest me. It's not horrible. Could be worse, but it doesn't really jump out at me, which is unfortunate. They're retiring Dr. Yellow? No. Oh. You mean Japanese Railways. Hold on. JR retiring Dr. Yellow. Is this a thing? Oh, they are retiring. I mean, they're going to make new ones, right? Oh, well, that's good. They are going to put them on display. Dang, that's crazy. Oh, man, 20 years of service. Dang. Oh, man. We're saluting. We're going to salute Dr. Yellow. Dr. Yellow and their incredible service to the legendary stretch of railway known as the Shinkansen. Wow. I'm curious to see what they do for the next iteration of Dr. Yellow. I mean, as far as I know, the only iterations of Dr. Yellow they've had are the 923 and then the Zero Series one. So I wonder if we're going to get one that's more based on the... I wonder if we're going to get one that's based on one of the E-Series. Maybe like a E or like a W7, E7, or an E8 basis for the next Dr. Yellow. That'd be pretty cool. Would you think it's worse than AEG? I don't know. I have no opinions on AEG. I never bothered to watch it. I am more inclined to watch an episode or two of whatever this is, though. All Engines Go, I knew there was no way that I would be able to watch it and be able to enjoy it at all. I'm just too strongly biased against it to be able to give it that fair chance, which is why I've never watched it. It's why I've never done a review on it or talked about its merch or anything. And it's also why I've never hated on it, because I don't have an opinion on it. So, I mean, maybe there would be a universe where I watch it and I would actually enjoy it, but I'm just not willing to give All Engines Go a shot. And because of that, I don't have an opinion on it. It's not the Thomas I wanted, so I passed. And it might be a similar situation with this. Yes, the number one is quite big. It is quite big. That's one thing I noticed. I'm glad that there are people that are optimistic for this. I wish I could be optimistic about this. But for the people that are optimistic, please do not let my opinions ruin your experience with this. My opinions are my opinions, and if you're excited for 2026 Thomas, then that is great. Yeah, it just, you can definitely tell the track is AI. Yeah, we went over that a little bit ago. It's yikes. Not excited. Not excited. Okay, wait. I wonder how much Playroll Dr. Yellow is going for right now. Considering that Dr. Yellow is getting retired, I might have to pick up one of these 923 sets of it. I'll have to figure that out whenever I get paid next. How long will the live stream go? I should not have live streamed at all. I should be in bed, but I couldn't sleep, and then I checked my Discord server, and somebody posted the video of the new Thomas, and I was like, if I do not talk about this right now, I am never going to talk about it, and then at some point people are going to ask me, and I am not going to have an answer. So this live stream is basically just I'm doing my thoughts and my issues with 2026 Thomas before I completely forget about it in the wake of working on my next video, which has nothing to do with Thomas. Yeah, I mean, Mattel, I think what really happened was Mattel picked up Thomas because they had some whacked out vision for it and because it was a big money maker, but they just had no idea what to do with it. They brought in Andrew Brenner and Ian McHugh and a bunch of people who actually cared about it to write a couple seasons of good show and get people on their side, only to do Bwubba, which then failed, so they had to kill the original show. They did All Engines Go, which did not do as good as any era of Thomas before then, and now that that is failed and out of the way, they are doing it again, and they're going to give us another show, and I have a very strong feeling that this show is going to be very similar to All Engines Go, just with a new animation medium. At most, we're probably going to see 5 years out of this new AI Thomas, and then at that point, Mattel is either going to offload the franchise to another company, or worst case scenario, they just kill Thomas entirely, which honestly they probably wouldn't, because they know that if they do that, they will get massive crap from pretty much everyone for that. The fandom especially. I mean, if Mattel decided to just kill Thomas entirely for no good reason, I mean, I would hate to think what would happen, because when this fandom gets really, really, really upset, it usually doesn't end well. And I would hate to think what would happen if Mattel managed to infuriate the entire fandom by doing something as brain dead as killing the franchise. Hypothetically, if they were to kill the franchise, it would not surprise me to see a legion of fans go to their offices and, at best, peaceful protesting, at worst, stuff that would probably get a lot of people in a lot of trouble. I would not participate in that. I'm not a violent person. I think that violence is immature and pointless. So I try to be more diplomatic. I try to talk, get all sides of the story. But at the end of the day, sometimes you just don't get everything that you need to make a good conclusion. And I kind of went off on a tangent there. Anyways. Did you see the clip attached to the images? Yes, we did watch that. And we're going to watch it again. And I'm going to have to scrub that out of my mind so I don't have nightmares tonight. Ugh. Don't look at me like that, Thomas. It's, in your next video, will Thomas characters make cameos? Nope. There will be no Thomas characters whatsoever in my next video. Pretty crazy thing to say, I know. But the next video is going to purely be about Japanese play rail, and it's awesome. Trust me. It's, you know, it's not like one of these like 3 to 5 minute videos that I just kind of poop out on a weekend. No. Oh, okay, so wait, actually the next video is not going to be the big video that I'm talking about. It's going to be a smaller video that I made in the middle. But the next big video that I'm working on, that is going to be great. I'm pretty sure there's Thomas in the next video that's coming out. The next video is coming out on Monday, in about a week. Yeah, it's coming out on February 2nd. That's when the next video comes out. That's going to have Thomas in it. It's not going to be about Thomas, but Thomas is in it. The next big video, Thomas is not going to be in it at all. It is purely going to be about PlayRail, and it's going to feature a bunch of new items that I bought, and it's probably going to be like an hour long, but it is something that I don't think anyone has ever thought to do before. I have not seen it be done, and I am really excited about the video. So for those of you who are interested in seeing more about that, check out I don't know if I linked it, but I have a Patreon, and I post regular updates for my production, or for what I'm working on. So I might just go ahead and throw the Patreon link in there for anyone who's curious. If you don't want to join the Patreon, that's totally okay. It is not an obligation to anyone, but if you would like to help support the channel and get some extra content and updates and more in-depth views into how I work and what the process is behind these videos, you can go check it out in the link in the description. Yes, I did close the Patreon, but after this video that I did in December, I decided to reopen it because my main focus now is I'm focusing more on big videos. I want to focus more on these, like hour long, hour plus, like 30+ minute videos, because they really let me be more creative. I'm not stripped down to I have to fit everything within 1 week so that I can upload every week. Which is why, we went from regular videos to 2 months, and then this one sort of just a video that I thought was fun, and I got to play with a bunch of people in this, which is why I made that video. And then we had the viewer challenges video, which was like the first big video I did on the channel. And then I posted the Accents Will Happen 2015 version, which I did make in 2015, over 10 years ago, almost. Actually, yeah, it has been over 10 years. Just because it's always been a dream of mine to make my own Accents Will Happen video and post on the internet. I do want to do an updated version. I don't know if I'll do it this year or next year, but I do want to do an updated version of Accents Will Happen with all the new stuff that I've gotten. And, but there will be the occasional Accents Will Happen video on this channel, just because that was the reason I got into making videos in the first place, was because I saw people posting their own version of Accents Will Happen with their toys on the internet. And I was like, I want to do that. I have to do that. And I have. And I will continue to do that. But I'm also going to work on these massive videos too, because I think they're really fun. Do you still have any of the engines from the... Yes, I do. I got a few of them sitting behind me. I've got the Henry, the Thomas, the James, the Edward, the Bash, and the Toby. I don't know if Douglas was in it. I don't think Douglas was. Stafford was in it. He got cannibalized to get Douglas working again, and I don't have that Stafford anymore. Why does Thomas look AI? Probably because he kind of is a little bit AI. Do any of them still work? Yes. I'm pretty sure all of the ones that I listed work. What else did I have in that? Skarloey died a while ago. Rheneas died a while ago. The Rusty I don't think works anymore. I don't know though. I think Rusty has been taken apart, but I have another Rusty that I've been using since. Yeah, I got that one I got that Rusty like a few years ago, but the original Rusty I don't think is in great shape right now. I just brain fart. I mean, it's like 4:15 in the morning. Um, but yes, I do have most of the engines. Some of them don't work anymore and are stripped down to, you know, their motors and their parts. Some of the engines do work, and I just don't use them because I have better versions that I prefer using in videos. And some of them I sold a while ago. Probably around the end of high school, I sold my Trackmaster Paxton and my Trackmaster Molly. I kind of regret selling Paxton. I don't really regret selling Molly because I'd rather have a Tomy one. But pretty much all the other ones I kept, and then Stafford got cannibalized for making my Douglas work again, which I don't know how many of you watched. I don't know where it is, though. Let me pull up my videos. It was this one, the Fixing My Cringy Thomas and Friends video from 10 years ago, where I showed off the original Accidents Happen video that I made, I think around sometime between 2012 and 2014, I think was when that video got made. But the Douglas from that video I still have, and that is the Douglas that I use on the channel today, which you can see in, if it'll load enough, which was in the this video. That Douglas in that video is the same one I have had since 2008, which is pretty cool. I'm actually planning to do a video on Douglas at some point and kind of give his backstory. Do you have any play rail or snap battery contact? Best thing you can do for a snap battery contact is get a paper clip. You got to bend it around a bit. I would solder on. You're probably gonna have to solder some stuff. That's the hard part. Do you plan on making customs? Nope. I kind of suck at making customs. I don't know for sure if I suck at making customs. I've never done one before, but I prefer to just stick with what has been made. And as far as custom stuff goes, I do have Tomy Time Station to thank, who sponsored this channel, and they've sent me some fun 3D printed stuff that I feature in some of my videos. So that's more or less the extent of my custom stuff. Is mostly what they send me, or what other people send me. Why does Thomas 26 remind me of the Sonic movie? That's what I said. My opinion on it was, I really hope. I recorded a video of this and it never got edited and uploaded. But basically, my train of thought was, this is like the Sonic movie incident, where the initial design is hated, and enough people scream at Mattel, they'll go back on it. Which, just based on some of the opinions I've heard in this live stream alone, I don't think Mattel is going to go back on this design. Unfortunately for the people that aren't happy with it, because it does seem that there are a handful of people that are happy with this design, which, I mean, it's totally fine. Everyone's allowed to have their own opinion. But it's, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting year for sure. The thing is, I don't get spares. Really, with my collection, it's like I collect, whatever engine it is, and then I don't get spares. I don't do lots. I like to get things new I like to get things in as good condition as possible, so I don't really look out for like lots of items where there's like multiple items in one listing or whatnot. I've gotten a couple of them, but for the most part, I've really been sticking to just what Tomy and Playrail have offered. Because it forces me to get creative. You kind of lose a sense of creativity when you are able to just manufacture everything. So I kind of like having to be restricted in a way. Especially when, I have a collection as big as I do. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I'm gonna be real. I mean, I love my collection, but it's a pain to store. if I use too much of it in one sitting, it's a pain to clean up. I wish I had more space. That's really it. But yeah, mostly as of late, I've pretty much just been focusing on getting more Japanese stuff for my collection because that's really what I'm more interested in at the moment. I'm relatively happy with my Thomas collection right now. There are some items that I do want, and items that I'm going to need for future Thomas topics that I cover with the Playroll stuff. But lately, I've been focusing more on the Japanese side of it, which has been a lot less stressful because outside of like some older models that haven't gotten updated lately, I don't really have to worry about like major price hiking and whatnot, which is really nice. And I'm able to get a lot of the stuff new in box without too much issue as well, which makes a big difference. It's really just the import fees nowadays that really suck. Can you go to a different image? I don't like how I'm staring at me. All right, we'll go to the channel homepage. What are your thoughts on the brand new show? It might not air on Disney. It might not air on regular TV because the merchandise packaging, if you haven't seen yet, it says available on YouTube Kids. So this could be a purely YouTube Kids show, which would suck because I'm not hauling my ass onto YouTube Kids to watch it. If it gets released if like somebody compiles the episodes into a Google Drive or Internet Archive or wherever, I'll consider watching an episode or two to see how it is. But if it is like exclusively on YouTube Kids, I am not watching it. Let's just hope the writing's good. Indeed, let's hope the writing is good. I don't know if it will be, but we can hope. Made a 40-minute video of me playing Mario horror games once. Definitely never doing something like that again. Just wait until you make an hour-long video where you have to get on the floor and film trains running around a track for... It takes a while. I mean, it took me like a month and a half to 2 months to do the viewer challenges video. And I started working on this big video that I've been working on. I started on January 19th. And I have sunk a lot of hours into it. It took me a long time to write the script. I'm currently in the middle of working on the shot list for it, which is pretty much just a list of all of the footage that I want to film, as well as compiling all of the like video assets and images from the internet and all that, making original assets for the video and all that, and just planning out what I want the editing process to look like. It takes a long time, and it takes a lot of commitment and dedication for very big videos, but it is doable. But to be fair, I also went to school for film. I went to college for film, so I've had plenty of experience with making more professional style productions in terms of my YouTube content. So that helps me a lot. I have a solid handle on how to do things and how to be efficient with it. But I mean, that's also years of practice. Favorite Thomas movie, The Great Discovery, is my personal favorite. It is the one that I'm the most nostalgic for. If we're talking objectively, probably I would say Blue Mountain Mystery, honestly. I really like that movie a lot. It's a solid movie. As excited as I am for something new for Thomas that isn't a Legends Go, I have zero hopes for it being good. Yeah, that's more or less where I'm at right now. Have you seen the new Herald? Yep, Herald is, Herald is, that's not Herald. That's Harriet. One time I made a big ass Trackmaster 2 track in my house upstairs hallway. Maybe 30 minutes after finishing. Back hurt. Didn't go away till like 3 days later. That is why you should see a chiropractor. Chiropractic is very important, I will say. I get chiropractic care, and it literally gets me through filming these videos because me at my age, being on the floor all the time, bending over, turning myself into a pretzel to get some of the shots I get on like the really big sets. I'll give you a great example. This video right here, the expansion for the Tomy engine wash set. My chiropractor was flabbergasted at how absolutely shredded I was when I came in. Because I had to bend over, reach, like basically I was playing Twister trying to film that video. It came out really good. I'm happy with a lot of the shots that I got from that video, but oh my gosh. That is why I have not done another video like that since. The 1 year video I specifically filmed in a different spot because I knew it was going to be a pain to do in my room. So I was like, I'm clearing out the downstairs and I'm going to use that instead. So as far as like big layouts go, I typically try and not film them in my room. How long would you prefer the movies to be? I really don't care, honestly. I am going to watch maybe 1 or 2 episodes of the show and probably no more than that. It is good exercise making layouts. I just wish that I was 15 years younger. Yeah. I miss the amount of energy I had when I was a kid. It was, it's funny, right? Because when you're a kid, you've got all this energy, you've got all these ideas, this great imagination. You don't quite know how the world works. At least you shouldn't really know how the world works. Thank you. I appreciate you subscribing. Yeah, like as a kid, I'm not that old. I'm jaded. I'm super jaded. I have pretty much the amount of experiences that I've gone through at my age is quite a bit more than most people do at my age. And I'm just also I'm a very strong believer in logic and common sense. So I look at the world today and I see how little logic and common sense is applied to the system. And I'm just at the point where, like, every day I get a little bit more dead inside. But that's why I do this channel, because I get excited about stuff. Yeah, I am in my 20s. I'll say that. Do you do the groan when getting out? Yes. Getting up, sitting down, always the groan. I really shouldn't be at my age. Oh, my knees. When I sit crisscross in my chair or I like scrunch my knees up, at some point they will get really sore and I have to stretch my legs out. It didn't used to be like that. But yeah, nowadays everything hurts. Getting up and sitting down hurts. Like, stuff to do with my legs hurts. But I also worked in food service for a collective, 3 years, I think? Yeah, like a collective 3 to 4 years of working in food service. Standing behind a counter, running around the store, all the heavy lifting and, all of that stuff. So my legs and my knees have been in much better shape. How long would you prefer the movies to be? Like I said, I really don't have an answer. Just because I just don't have an opinion. I mean, I would imagine they'll be like 60 minutes. If we're getting movies. That's assuming we get movies. We might not. But it's 4:30. I should be getting to bed. But yeah, I don't know if anybody who is watching this after the stream has aired gets to this point, but if you did, 2026 Thomas, I'm not super excited for it as of now. If I can watch the episodes on somewhere that's not YouTube Kids, I will give it a shot. I don't have any crazy expectations, but I think I am going into this with a lot less vitriol than I did with All Engines Go. I am more willing to give this a fair chance. I don't think it's going to impress me. So in the event that it does impress me, I will be very shocked. And in the event that it does not impress me, I didn't have any expectations to begin with, so it won't be a big deal. But that's about it for today's or tonight's stream. Yeah, that's my thoughts on 2026 Thomas. And I am not going to talk about this again until like next year probably. So hope you guys enjoyed me yapping for how long have we been streaming? An hour and 42 minutes? And here I'm like, yeah, this will be like a nice quick like 30-minute stream at most. That's usually how it goes. I say I'm going to stream for X amount of time, and then it always goes like 3 times over. But yeah, it is 4:32 in the morning for me, and I got to go to work in less than 6 hours. So that's fun. Maybe? Probably. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, that's about it. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't be a stinker. Oh, yeah, I'm just going to promote this one more time while I'm thinking about it. If you are interested in seeing some extra MTI content, getting updates on what I'm working on video-wise, the Patreon link is in the description. Feel free to check that out if you want to. It is not a requirement, but if you would like to help support the channel, that is a great way to do it. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Don't be a stinker. And I might see you guys next week for another live stream. I think I'll do another Tomy live stream next week. Depending. We'll see. But if I don't do a live stream next week, then I will see you in the next video. Have a great day. Or have a great night at this point.